Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, DJ Hamilton of DJ Sports Show here on WRCR Radio. And I hope you're all having a great Saturday, even though I know it's going to snow later on. Today's going to be a very NBA-centric show. As you can tell, we're playing basketball. Ain't that right, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Loving that.
Oh, yeah. Jeff was telling me while I was playing.
I was bouncing up and down when I heard that.
Jeff was playing. I took him back to his childhood right there.
I'm vintage 80s right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to. NBA All-Star Weekends here, ladies and gentlemen. We had the Rising Stars last night. Tonight we have the NBA Slam Dunk Contest and the also three-point shootout, the skills challenge, and then tomorrow the NBA All-Star Game. But, I couldn't talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend by myself today. I had to bring on a special guest, the writer of the Wilson Way Sports Network and my guy, Phil Wilson. Phil, how you doing?
Doing great, my guy. Thank you for having me back.
Man, it's always a pleasure to have you on, man. I know you're up there in Maryland, man, and I know you always watch basketball just like me. So first thing we could talk about, man, is this NBA All-Star Game tomorrow. Some of the teams. We got Team Shaq. He kind of has like the old geezers, the OGs. LeBron James, yep. He has Stephen Curry. He has Jason Tatum. He has Kevin Durant, Damian Lillard, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving. Anthony Davis is out with an injury, so Kyrie Irving replaced him. We have Team Kenny. He has the Americans, the young Americans. He has like the Anthony Edwards, the Jalen Brunsons, Jaren Jackson Jr., J-Dub of the Oklahoma City Thunder. He also has Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Hero, and Darius Garland. And then lastly, we have Team Chuck, which is basically like Team International. He has Victor Wembanyama. He has Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's out with injury, so Trae Young's replacing him. Then you have Nikola Jokic. You have Alperen Sengun, Karl Anthony Towns, Donovan Mitchell, and Pascal Siakam. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, couldn't forget him. So between those teams, which one you liking the best, man?
I mean, first of all, bro, it's crazy that Jason Tatum is now considered an OG because he's only 19. So first of all, that's crazy.
Yeah, remember that joke when he dunked on LeBron? It was like, he's only 19.
19, absolutely. But, man, I mean, when you see LeBron James and Steph Curry together, I mean, there's no way I can picture getting them personally. The OGs out there are going to take it. You got the skill set of Kyrie, Kevin Durant, the shooting and scoring ability of Damian Lillard and James Harden, and all-around game of Jaylen Brown as well mixed in there, especially with his defense. It's going to be hard to beat that team. To me, I think LeBron James and Steph Curry are going to lead the way as they did with Team USA not too long ago over the summer.
Oh, so you think the OGs are gonna win, man? The OGs?
Oh yeah, man. Too much versatility, but they're gonna be hard to stop.
Yeah, no, I might have to. I mean, I know they're hard to stop and all that, but I don't think they're gonna play that hard. They're on the, they're on the older side. They're gonna play hard probably. They're, probably near the ending, but in the beginning, I feel like they're gonna get off to a slow start. But I don't know because when I see these other teams, man, I'm liking this international team with Team Chuck. I know Giannis is out, but man, you got Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the two MVP favorites on the same team. I'm liking that. And then you got the young, thoroughbred, the precocious talent, and Victor Wembanyama, who's the young phenom of the league of San Antonio Spurs. He's going to be blocking all those shots left and right, man. And he's coming to play hard. He said he ain't coming to play games. He's there to play hard. He said he's going to hustle. He's going to dive on the floor he's going to do all those type of plays. And he said he wants to come out and make a statement because he knows the NBA All-Star Game the last few years. It's kind of been, people have been taking it as a joke because the players have not been playing as hard as they should. Because when they were speaking last year and how much of a debacle that was, they were talking about, man, these players train harder in the offseason summer league games than they do for the All-Star Game. Like it got so bad. That's why they started doing this new format with 3 teams, 8 players, and then the winner of the Rising Stars games will play in the All-Star Game as the 4th team. And that's what they did for this year's new format. But yeah, I like the international team. I think they have a lot of versatility. You got a lot of highly skilled big men. Jokic, Wembanyama, Siakam, Karl Anthony Towns. These are all guys who create their own shot, man. And they can score on all 3 levels. Like, I don't know, man. I know you got the LeBron and Stephen Curry, but we got some guys who can bang down low. We got Karl Towns, Alperen Sengun. We got some size. And then we got an orchestrator in Trae Young who's going to set those guys up. Man, he's one of the best playmakers in the entire league. I like the setup we got here. I know Giannis being out is kind of unfortunate, but at least we got Trae Young to back him up, to replace him. And then we got Donovan Mitchell, man. He's the leader of the Cavaliers, who are the top team in the Eastern Conference. So he's a dynamic scorer as well. I didn't even mention him. So I don't know. I know you say you got Team Shaq, but hey, I'm gonna go Team Chuck. I'm gonna go Team Chuck.
It'll be a tough play for sure. But remember, it is in San Francisco. I do expect Steph Curry to show out. And honestly, man, with how bad it's been, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not looking forward to this format either. I'm an old school East West guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gotten to the point, man. Just give us something. You know, I don't think it's too much to ask. You know, for these great athletes to be great athletes and perform at not even the highest level, but just play as hard as Stephen A. put it. First take several times. Play as hard as you would in the offseason working out. We're not asking for NBA Finals effort. Just give us a great game. Give us a bit of a show, and at least even pretend to play defense. Something. Give us something.
Exactly. At least give us 60% of what you're capable of. At least 60. It don't have to be 100.
That's the one All-Star game.
Yeah. Because we don't want nobody to go out there and like tear their ACL or anything or Achilles, because that would look bad for the NBA, and that would look really bad. But the one team I feel like. You know, you said Team Shaq, I said Team Chuck, but the only reason I didn't choose Team Kenny, I mean, yeah, all these guys are stars, but Team Kenny, I don't really, outside of Anthony Edwards, I don't really see a guy who's like, we consider a superstar. Like, Jalen Brunson's great. I think he's a star in this league, but I don't consider him a superstar. I know he's on the Knicks, so some people might consider him a superstar. If you're a Knicks fan, you probably consider him a superstar because, you know, probably a biased fan. But I think he's a star, but superstar is a whole nother level. Darren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, Kate Cunningham, shout out to them. First-time All-Stars. Jalen Williams, same thing as well. And then Tyler Hero as well. I mean, those guys are really good players, star-level, all-star level players, but there's nobody on that outside of Anthony Edwards on that team I see as a superstar. And that's why I don't really think they're going to be able to handle the Team Shaq and Team Chuck and the litany of superstars they have on their rosters.
I think I agree the same way. Anthony Edwards is going to give you a superstar level as far as his athleticism and things like that. I mean, Jaren Jackson and Evan Mobley are going to give you great defense as well. If they do play defense in the All-Star game, if anybody's going to do it, it can be them. But like you mentioned, it's just not enough. I would say that superstar talent around them to really expect them to really make any noise in this format, especially.
Exactly. So now that we chose our teams for who we think is going to win the All-Star game, let's reminisce on some of our favorite All-Star moments. So, Phil, you were born, 1995? You're not that much older than me. What are some of your favorite All-Star moments in NBA history?
Story, from me growing up, it always started with his airness videos. I used to watch my dad got me the DVDs. And I remember specifically with All-Star games, watching that 1988 slam dunk contest, Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan. And that, to me, that era as a whole of superstars playing in a dunk contest and competing, that's what set our expectations of now, where it's such a disappointment where we don't see it, because we saw when we had it. It was yes, there's nostalgia based as well, but it was special, man. I mean, the history that was made with that all-star event is what made the dunk contest what it was.
Exactly.
You know, it made it super. Obviously, we had Dr. J back in the day, but I feel like that at that time, that arguably was the highest it ever became for a long time, until obviously Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon came in and did their thing, and then years, decades later. But to me, that was big time, man. And that's probably my biggest for Saturday night. For Sunday, for the game itself, to me, there's no bigger All-Star game in 2001. As you know, Allen Iverson put on a show. You had crazy teams, man. Yeah.
No, that's definitely one. Yeah, that's definitely amazing. Yeah, that 2001 All-Star game was crazy. The East came back down like 25 points. That was a crazy game. Jeff's shaking his head. Jeff was nodding his head like, yeah. Like,
the whole Jordan era, Dominique Wilkins. I'm a short guy. You know that, DJ.
Yeah.
When Spud Webb knocked the socks off of everybody, I was loving that. But to watch Magic Johnson go up against whoever from the East, that was always a treasure to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Loved it.
Magic Johnson, when he did his behind-the-back passes, the crazy bounce passes through full court traffic.
He was a showman, and he was a showman, too. And it was great to watch that. It was awesome.
Man, yeah, you had it good, man. You got to see them live.
It was great stuff. Yep.
During the simple days.
Yep.
Yeah, Phil, when you were mentioning the Dominique, Jeff was like, oh, yeah, this guy knows his basketball. Nah, Spud Webb, what he was doing at 5'7"? Oh, man. I'm like, man.
He's like an inch taller than I am. Yeah, but it was just it was marvelous to see someone with so much talent and just dwarfed by everybody on the court. It was so great.
Yeah.
It gave hope to us short guys.
Exactly. I think it gave hope to like Nate Robinson's later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, like seeing guys like Spud Webb and then Nate Robinson and dunk contest, you're like, well, these guys are minus 6 feet.
Yeah.
Like, how do they have this type of bounce? How are they doing this? They're
It's great. And
levitating.
And forget about even the dunk stuff. He was talented just in his own right. It was great. Don't watch him.
Exactly. Phil, any other All-Star moments that come to your mind?
Kobe and Lakers fan. I got to talk about one of my favorite Kobe moments.
Yeah.
Back in, I believe it was 2002, his second All-Star MVP award he won that year. And I remember the disappointment watching it. I believe I was, 7, 8 years old. And just watching how disappointed he was, you understand the Philly crowd wasn't really feeling him because, he's from Philly. He had just beat Allen Iverson the Sixers the year before, so they were hating on him. But, man, he came out and dominated, got his second All-Star MVP, man. And that, to me, is one of the main reasons why, you look back and like, why the All-Star MVPs ain't that to Kobe, because whenever it came to putting on a show in the All-Star game, he was always that guy to lead the way in the biggest moments and really want to put on a show, really acted like it meant something, not just, for the fans, but it really meant something to him to compete at the highest level at all times, no matter if it was the finals or even something as just like an All-Star game. I thought that was one of my favorite moments for Kobe in his career.
Exactly. So some of my favorite moments, I was actually like reminiscing on this last night when I was thinking for this topic for the show. Like we mentioned 2001 All-Star game. One of my favorite moments actually was like during that All-Star game, yes, they came back 25, but when Allen Iverson caught the ball in midair, and they was about to go out of bounds, and he's the smallest guy on the court. And then he catches it with his left hand, switches it over with the right, and then he puts it. Oh, I'm just like, what is this guy is crazy. I used to watch that play over and over and over again growing up. I used to try to mimic it at the park and just throw it to myself in there, go out of bounds and then switch it and then try. Oh man, I used to be like, man, this is why everybody wanted to be like AI, man. He was horticulture, man. And to see that doing that against the League of Giants, Kevin Garnett's, Tim Duncan, Shaq's, all these guys are near 7 foot, and this guy is here about 5'11", 6 feet. It's like, yo, this guy, and then he ended up winning the All-Star game. That was his year. 01, he won the MVP that year and the All-Star game. That was just his year. Another team to the finals. Sadly, they lost to Shaq and Kobe, but yeah, that was his year, man. Another one of my favorite All-Star moments is also, Blake Griffin jumping over that Kia Optima, man. The dunk contest. Here's the sound from that 2011 slam dunk contest.
What are they bringing out?
A car. She think gotta be a car.
Blake, do you believe you can do this? Blake, do you believe you can do this? You gotta believe. Sometimes it's real. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Griffin, look at the replay. He gets overcome.
Yes, that's what you heard. Kenny Smith. Do you believe? Do you believe? I believe. Yo, I love Kenny Smith, man. He brings you into the moment, even when you're not there. You feel like you're there. That's what makes him such a great announcer. Yes, he was a really good player growing up. He played D1 college, played one of the powerhouse high schools growing up, and then had a great NBA career, winning 2 titles. But man, I feel like his post career has been even more legendary. Shout out to Kenny Smith, man, New York native. But, man, another one of my favorite moments. So, I said Allen Iverson, the switch, the Kia Optima with Blake Griffin. Man, that 2022 All-Star Game 75th anniversary back in Akron, Ohio, to see the 75 greatest players of all time in the same vicinity together. Just like in 1997 in Cleveland, they had it for the 50th. 25 years later, they have the 75th. And, man, that was LeBron's hometown. You had Stephen Curry had like 16 threes in that All-Star game. It was insanity what was going on. LeBron was cooking. Everybody, all the young stars today, you had Luka Doncic there, Trae Young. You saw the next generation. You saw the past, present, and the future all in one room. And it was just, and I was in my senior year in my dorm watching that. I was like, man, seeing this in real time. Because I used to always watch the 50th anniversary growing up all the time. The video, I'm like, man, I want to see that when I could see it now, because I wasn't even a thought yet. 1997, I wasn't born until 2000, so to see that in real time, that was beautiful. And then see LeBron hit the game winner in his hometown fadeaway. Here's sounds from LeBron hitting that game winner to end the 2022 All-Star Game Classic.
LeBron says, "Give it to me in Cleveland, the king in Cleveland." At the ball, everybody in this joint. Jay, fade away all day,
You heard Shaq say, the King said, not in my house. Yo, I love them, man. And then, Kenny Smith said, King James, Fade Away, MJ, LJ, all. Man, this is why they've won multiple Emmys. This is why they're the best sportscasting crew that there is, honestly, of any pregame show. I think because they're not just dissecting the sport, they're bringing the personality and they're relating to the culture. And then they talk about big culture issues going on in the real world. That's why I love Inside the NBA. So, yeah, Phil, those are some of my favorite All-Star moments. I also, Kobe's last All-Star game, too. I almost forgot when him and LeBron patted down the floor and he clapped his hands, smiling. He said, Kobe, he's basically saying to Kobe, let's go, like the last go around. And then you see the crowd getting into it, man. That one kind of got me emotional. I was like, man, this is Kobe's last one, man. So I know you probably wanted to mention that as well.
Of course, man. That was amazing. I believe it was in Toronto that year, man. His last All-Star game. It was just great to see Kobe celebrating in the way he should be. Obviously, that was his farewell tour that season. That was amazing.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. Coming back from the break, Phil's going to stay with us. Coming back from the break, we're going to talk some NBA teams to look forward to in the second half of the season. Listen to DJ Sports here on WRCR Radio, and we'll be right back. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's your host, DJ Hamilton of DJ Sports Show here on WRCR Radio, and we are back. We're going to talk our 5 teams to look forward to in the second half of the season. Phil, you still with us? Phil, you still with us? Oh. Did we lose Phil? Oh, did we lose Phil? I guess he hung up. Yeah. Oh, Phil. Okay, so. Oh, he's still with us? No. Oh, okay. So, yes, we're going to talk our 5 teams. Look forward to the second half of the season. One of my teams I have is the Lakers. You know, the Luka AD trade. That shocked. I know you probably were shocked, too.
That was, as it all unfolded, it was very, very surprising. And then you hear different reasons why and all that. Very, very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, so when the Luka AD trade happened. Oh, Phil, you back on with us?
Yes, sir. My bad. I'm back on.
Oh, yes. So our 5 teams look forward to in the second half of the season. Who are some of the teams you're looking forward to as we approach the second half of this season?
Man, starting off in the East, I gotta show love to the Pistons, man. I mean,
okay.
Think how bad they were at this time last year. The fact they're not just a team that can, play for a play-in spot as such a young team, and with how bad they were last year, they're a legit playoff team. They got, I believe, a potential superstar in Kate Cunningham, and to me, I'm excited to see can they really carry it through and really maintain their position and remain, at least a top 6 team in the East and see what they can do.
Mm-hmm. One team I have is your Lakers, man. Luka AD, they only play like 2 games together so far. And, that first game, they blew out the Jazz. But then the second game, the Jazz kind of showed their weakness in the paint. Yeah, they're very vulnerable in the paint. That's one thing I was worried about with the AD trade, the Lakers. I know they got Luka and AD, so I have a feeling they're going to figure it out. These are 2 supercomputers on the floor. These guys are very ball dominant, though. 2 guys who have a usage percentage of over 30% in their careers. I know they're all-time greats, but one of them is going to have to play off the ball. I feel like it's going to be LeBron because he's older now. I feel like he should defer to Luka to be that guy who's in his prime, 25, young, who to really orchestrate the offense. And then LeBron could okay, when you need me to, I could take over, but I want you to hand him over the reins to the franchise so he could conserve his energy for the postseason, and hopefully you guys can make a run. Because you guys against that Jazz that other night, man, you guys, the Jazz are basically the second worst team in the Western Conference, or they are the worst team in the Western Conference. One of them, I forgot. But they scored 54 points in the paint on you guys. 54 points in the paint?
That was not a good look at all.
Yeah, it was not looking good. So I was like, that was one thing. I want to see how I know they got Alex Len recently in a trade. I know that gives you guys some size. He's 7'1". You got Jackson Hayes, but I'm interested to see how that dilemma defensively works, what defensive schemes you guys implement to really make a run. Offensively, I'm not worried about you guys, but defensively, I want to see how you guys do. Another team to look forward to for me is the Golden State Warriors. You had Jimmy Butler coming back. He got traded from the Miami Heat. He was disgruntled there, unhappy. That situation when Pat Riley got toxic. But now he joins the Golden State Warriors franchise as on his last legs, trying to make a last run with Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, who are in the twilight years of their career. Adding a guy like Jimmy Butler could be your focal point of the offense when Stephen Curry's on the bench. He's that guy who could be a go-to player, even when Stephen Curry's playing, so Stephen Curry can play off the ball. He doesn't have to exert so much energy trying to score. Because you see, if you watch Stephen Curry this year, he's not the same. He's still good, but he's not as efficient. He's not as, dynamic as he once was. And you can tell his body's starting to break down. He's having injuries here and there. And he's not shooting good from 3 this year, Phil. I know he's the greatest shooter ever, but this year he ain't shooting good from 3. So
Exactly right standards, yeah.
yeah, so this and then Buddy Hield, I need to see him find the rhythm. That's something the Warriors gonna have to look for. So who's the other team you wanted to mention?
So one more in the East. I gotta talk about the Knicks. They're a very interesting team because they're the third. They're third in the East. They're two behind, obviously the heavy favorites in Boston and the top team in right now record wise, the Cavaliers. I want to see with them getting healthy. You know, they're getting Mitchell Robinson back. They're getting OG Anunoby back. So with their full unit, I know there's a big conversation about, especially when I saw on ESPN, they're talking about, oh, are they contenders or pretenders?
Yeah.
I'm going to say with all the talent they have, there's no way they can't be contenders. But in order to truly be believed as contenders, you have to be able to beat the two teams above you in the standings. Because right now, they're over 5 against the Cavs and Celtics. But they get to prove themselves right away, coming back after their All-Star break. They have games on the road against Cleveland, followed by the Celtics. So if you can figure out a way, really healthy, to win those games, then I think, you know, not only are you going to be believed as a contender, but, you know, actually facing those teams, you got to show you can beat them. You know what I'm saying? You got to beat the man to beat the man. So that's definitely a team in New York I think can do it. They just have to do it. Then going into the West, I think a team that I'm really looking forward to seeing that doesn't get enough talk about, honestly, I feel like it's the Grizzlies. They're second in the West. You know, they have a great team. A lot of still very young talent. John Morant, Desmond Bain, and Jaren Jackson is an all-star this year. But I really don't feel like they're getting a lot of the conversations they deserve. I believe they lead the league in scoring. They're a very interesting team to watch, but maybe some would say they're a little bit ahead of schedule as far as like how good they can be as a championship contender. But there's still a lot of time to prove themselves in that race that race in the West. So I'm going to see what they can do. Followed by that, I would say, let's see, one more or two more teams. I would say I really want to see the Rockets, another young team who's also been really good. They're fourth in the West. A lot of young talent as well. Jalen Green, Opera and Sengun, Ahmed Thompson looks like he's blossoming into a star. I think with them, I want to see, because remember last year they weren't that great of a team, but they went on that run second half of the year. I believe they won 10, 11 straight games, and then folded after they lost to the Warriors late in the year. I want to see this year, you know, because they had a little, you know, mid-season stretch where they didn't look as good. I want to see if they can, you know, continue their, you know, momentum, you know, second half of the year that they had last year, but actually pull through and really show up and hopefully possibly even be a top 4 seed in the West, which probably a lot of people didn't necessarily expect. Mm-hmm. And then for my last team, I got to talk about you're probably favorite player in the league, Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. To me, I know they're not in the playoff race right now. I believe they're the 12th seed in the West. But to me, that De'Aaron Fox trade changes everything.
Yep.
Obviously, we know Wembanyama is an MVP candidate. He's special both into the floor. Nothing needs to be said about him. But that De'Aaron Fox trade, man, unfortunately, it didn't work. Well, it worked with the Sacramento Kings. I thought they could be an ascending young team in the West for years to come. Obviously, it didn't work out. But De'Aaron Fox is the perfect complementary candidate to play alongside Wembanyama. His scoring ability, the way he can play in the clutch, the way he can shoot. Perfect compliment to Wembanyama to really develop this team into most likely a play-in team this year, considering their record, but definitely a playoff team for years to come.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, this first one I definitely agree with. I definitely want to see how they continue to build that chemistry and the cohesiveness within the unit. And I know you already mentioned the Knicks. I had the Knicks on my list, too, because I was interested in it. But one team I was going to mention, but now the injuries is like Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving. Man. I know they traded away Luka. Anthony Davis is out for like a month, abductor. So I don't know how they're going to play. Defensively, I think they're going to take a hit. And then you have Daniel Gafford now who's out. So it's like, man, they're big men. They want to win right now. It seems like they might fall in the standings now. So now that karma's starting to hit Nico Harrison now.
Oh, God.
It's starting to hit crazy. So I just want to see how Kyrie Irving takes the load as being the number one guy, the go-to guy, because he's never really shown he could be that go-to guy on a winning team. He's always had LeBron, or he's better as a number 2, or he's always had Luka on his trips to the finals. So that's something I'm really looking forward to seeing. I don't know if they're going to do well this season because all the injuries now, but yeah, now that the injuries happen, I'm not really looking as forward to them. But then lastly, the Celtics. The Celtics, they had that little low period where they were kind of looking like, oh, okay, championship hangover. But the last 10 games, they won 8 of their last 10. Jason Tatum's playing some of the best basketball of his career, averaging over 30 points per game. So I just wanted to mention that. Phil, before we get off, tell people where they can find your work.
Man, check me out, Wilson Wade Sports Network. Got my website, my newsletter on LinkedIn, Wilson Wade Sports Newsletter, as well as my YouTube channel, Wilson Wade Sports Talk. Check me out anytime.
Phil, it's been a pleasure, my brother. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Phil Wilson of Wilson Way Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great episode of the DJ Sports Show on WRCR 70 AM Radio. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Stay warm in the snowstorm, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.